What's up, y'all? It's your girl Corin, and you're checking out my boy David Duane.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning back into On Air with your one and only rock star on the mic. We've got our friend Corin, the amazing and talented R&B songstress that she is. You guys need to be checking out the brand new project, Autumn and Spring, that's out right now. Sophomore project, but if you guys are a little late to the game, I need y'all to catch up with Autumn and Winter. Autumn, you got so many jams, period, that they just need to dive into. And I'm so
Yeah,
glad to have you on the show today.
thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Of course, we work together and stuff like that, but now you're part of the friend circle of On Air with David Duane. So we welcome you.
Let's go.
Yes. So tell us about the journey with music and then just discovering like your love for music and R&B and just studying the greats and just everything. Because I know, but we got to let them know all
Yeah,
the
for sure.
tea.
So actually, my musical journey officially kind of started when I was in elementary school still, but I've been singing my whole life. As a kid, I remember the Dreamgirls movie had come out, and I was glued to the television. I was like, what, 4 or 5, because it came out in 2006. So I was glued to the television, fell in love with Beyonce and Jennifer Hudson, and ever since that movie, I've always been in love with R&B music. From there, as I got older and my mom would play music in the car. My dad would play music in the car. I just fell in love with it even more. And then I joined choir in school, and that's kind of how I got my musical start. So,
So we got to talk about your solo choir, Joyful, Joyful, and just how that just really just put the spark in like your soul and spirit to just really follow through with music. What was that experience like just going through choir, learning technique, and then actually being like, you know what, I really want to do this and actually really want to do this?
yeah, it was really like second nature to me learning the technique because I felt like I already kind of had the passion for it, like in my voice specifically. So, and I had a really great director who encouraged my love and passion for singing. And so when we were gonna do Joyful Joyful, I remember she played it up on the screen in our classroom, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to sing just like her. I want to do that solo. And luckily, fortunately for me, she picked me to do it, and I remember getting up on stage like super shaky, and I was like, "Okay, just go, just do it. She picked you for a reason." And I ended up having an amazing time, and I actually got a coin from the general for excellence because my dad was military, lived in Italy at the time, so that was like really like a validation for me to keep going from there.
That's
Yeah.
so dope. And then growing up in Europe, being an army brat and stuff like that, how was that experience being able to experience different countries, states, and stuff like that so early on? I know that at first it was really something where you were like, look, like I'm not really appreciating this. I want to do some other things. Like, why are you taking me here? Why are you taking me there, mom and dad? But it's something that as you got older, you grew to appreciate the experience. And you still a traveling busy bee.
I know it's kind of like I have to do it now. Like I'm so used to moving like this every few years, and now it's every month for me. But I'm super grateful for the experience now. And in retrospect, looking back at it, I'm really grateful that I got to do that. Lots of young adults my age haven't gotten that experience, so that's something I'm grateful to my parents for. Initially, of course, I was what, 9 or 10, and I did not want to leave home. I remember getting on that flight to Italy. I bawled my eyes out watching,
Did
saying goodbye
you?
to my yes, I was saying goodbye to my grandma, like on the little ramp, going to the plane. But yeah, anyway, it was a really rewarding experience. I've gotten to go to so many places, like Greece, Italy, Spain, Germany, Austria, Slovenia, Croatia, you name it, I've probably been. And I just think having that experience with all those cultures really kind of made me into the person I am today. And now I'm able to kind of tie all of that into my music. So it's
And I'm
great.
sure it taught you a lot of people skills and just being able to adapt to different cultures and then just being able to like get familiar with and acquainted with how different personalities can be, especially now being in the music industry, having the amazing career that you've had and just the opportunities too.
Yes, it really is great. I will say that the people skills, that was another thing that I got to learn throughout all my experiences and just connecting with different kinds of people. And it's just something that I'm so grateful for. And I hope to continue to be able to travel and see all the places that I've never been. So yeah.
Where have you not been, Autumn? You know,
Asia. I haven't been to Asia yet.
you haven't
Um,
been to Asia? What?
no, not yet. And I haven't been to South America, but I would love to go because, I am Hispanic, I'm Colombian, so I definitely got to go to the motherland. Yeah. So I got to go. I'd love to go.
Yeah, do you think that you would maybe even want to do shows there?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Anywhere that a show will take me, I am there. Okay. I might not like the flight, but I am there.
You and them flights.
I know. The anxiety is real.
So was the anxiety for flight something that has been something that since you were a kid, or did it kind of just develop in time as you've got older?
Yeah, it kind of developed when we were moving to Italy. I was fine, but then I remember moving back home. Do you remember that Malaysian flight that went down and nobody could find it? That incident happened right before we were moving back to the mainland, and I remember just being so deathly afraid to get on a flight across the ocean, and so that's kind of what started my fear for flying. But I do it all the time now, so it's okay. It's fine.
Because you
Yeah.
live in Hawaii where it is so beautiful. I'm jealous. I haven't been yet. And it's been on my bucket list for over 20 years, which is ridiculous.
Yes, you
But
have to come.
how is it living there in a place of like peace and just being able to write your music, just to escape? Because I feel like it's such a great escape. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah, I'm definitely give all the thanks to God. I am blessed because Hawaii has always been a place that I've been like, oh my gosh, like I wonder what it's like there. And now I live here, so it's crazy how that works, right? Um, I absolutely love it. It is paradise. I come after I go to LA for work for the month, I get to come back here and it's like my oasis. Like I just am zen. I'll sometimes go to the beach and write new songs and just being in the outdoors when it's sunny. Right now it's rainy. Because it's an
Okay.
island, right? But I love the warmth and the people here, the aloha spirit. It's amazing. I never want to leave.
What is your favorite Hawaiian dish?
Oh, stop. Don't get me started on Loco Moco, okay?
I gotta
Loco
know.
Moco, yes, it's so good. Loco Moco is pretty much like on a bed of white rice, and then it's like a beef patty, and then they put egg on top and gravy. Oh my God, stop. It's so amazing.
Oh my goodness. I have to come. I have to come. And what was that song that you wrote for this project? Summer and autumn.
Yeah.
Autumn and spring. Look, I'm excited for the summer project, okay? I'm excited for the summer project. We going up.
Right, right, right. Yeah, so actually this song that I had written here for the project is called Sometimes. It's the second song on the project. The interlude comes right before, but it's a super short like interlude. But yeah, I wrote that here on Waimanalo Beach, and I actually recorded sounds from the ocean to put as the interlude, like the background. So you'll
Oh,
kind of hear that if you listen to it. You'll hear the birds like chirping and stuff like that, and then it moves into Sometimes, which I wrote during a kind of transitional period for me, just about hardships, and I really wanted to touch every single age bracket, personality, no matter who you are. I want you to know that it's going to be okay. You're not alone.
and I think
So
it's very important that you express that, especially as a young woman, because a lot of times I feel like women don't get the opportunity to really feel like it's okay for me to feel this way without there being criticism from
yeah.
God, just criticism I mean, as a whole. And I'm glad that you did that. Such a strong message. How do you stay encouraged and stay uplifted? Becoming this young woman that you are, becoming this incredible artist that you are, and even about to even be even more because you going places. You've been places, but you going to bigger places.
Thank you. I would say it really all starts with my village. I have a really strong village behind me, and constantly supporting me. Thank God for my wonderful parents and siblings and best friends, who have always supported me. And my man, of course, he's always been super supportive of me since high school. So I think that's number one, first and foremost. Like I would be nowhere without them. But it's also a matter of keeping that fire lit within yourself. There's been so many times where I've wanted to quit. And then I look back and reflect on the stories that I've heard of the people who quit but really had a shot. And so it's like, what if you kept going? You don't know. Like you never know. You just got to keep going and hope for the best and manifest, all that greatness into your life. So,
Mhm. And
yeah.
speaking it into your life as well. So I'm glad that you're about that because, like I said, you're going places and you've got a lot of great feedback with Soundproof, which we
Yeah.
can't not talk about that. I love how it was very Beyonce inspired Rocket and stuff like that with
Yeah.
the video. Love this song. Tell me about the process of writing it because I know that with a lot of your music, you hold it for at least about a year before it comes out, and maybe even a couple months before it comes out, but you really take your time with
Yeah.
your music, and this was definitely one for sure.
It definitely was. I would say Soundproof was a turning point, not only in my like musicality as an artist, but also my songwriting. Um, Songwriting is something that I pride myself on as I continue to better myself and improve with, just like my punchlines and my flow and things like that. And Soundproof specifically, I remember writing it and thinking like, whoa, like wait a second, like we got something here. Like, okay, you did your thing, girl. And I really love
It's the
arranging.
note for me that you hit. Okay.
Stop, not the note at the end, oh my god.
Yes, you ate that. Come on.
Yeah, that's the choir training, so but yeah, I also was able to arrange that song myself as well, which is just like harmonies and stuff. Yeah, you know what arrangement is.
Yeah.
Um, but that was also very rewarding. That's, I think, probably my favorite, but it's the most tedious out of the whole process, you know? So I know you get that as an artist yourself, like, it's just crazy.
And I
So
love being able to have witness your recording process and writing and stuff like that. You are very, very honed and locked in and stuff like that. Let me tell them about your process a little bit, okay? Autumn
I
will have Adrian or any engineer that she's in the studio with loop the part until she gets it down and she takes her time with it too. She may not necessarily be feeling that track at the very minute and stuff like that. But when she gets in there, she's
Mhm.
in there and she's tapped and she works extremely hard.
Oh,
It's
thank you.
it's such an honor to watch your process
Ah, thank
because you take
you.
it very serious. And I have to give you your flowers and I have to tell them how your process works because a lot of artists have different process and stuff like that.
For sure. Yeah, I think with my process in particular, it's something that, I wasn't in a professional recording studio ever until about 3 or 4 years ago. S
Really?
Yeah, yeah, my first
And
time was in 2019, 20
and
I
that was
think.
with the your first song, right? Or did you not record?
Yeah. Yeah, that was with, a group of guys in Colorado. Their name, is Anthem Music, and they helped me record my very first song ever, More Than Beauty. But my process in the studio has definitely evolved like extremely. I find that in lots of sessions that I go to, particularly rappers, they go in, they kind of do their melodies and like go back on the line real quick, and then they get the line like super fast. And I'm not that way. I think with more practice, I could be. I like to sit down, process what I'm thinking, listen to the song, the vibe. What are the colors of the song? What do I want to make? What is the picture I'm trying to paint? So that's why I like to sit down with it. And it does take me a little while. I would say to complete a song, it takes about 3 to 4 hours. But as a baby songwriter and a new artist, it just it's gonna evolve, continue to evolve. So
And
yeah.
listen, you ain't no baby songwriter. You
Thank
got
you.
A-list skills, okay?
Oh, thank you. I
You
try.
listen, you do your thing. And I know that writing is definitely something that you've been taking a lot more serious now. So like that, especially with like going to school and expanding your vocabulary. High five on that because you are really doing that. And why would you say this time in your life it's been more personable for you to really tap in in that area that you're writing, because it's definitely different. I'm hearing it
Yeah.
in these
Yeah.
songs that are on this project that everybody needs to get. Autumn and Spring, please download it and stream it while we're having this conversation. But and then even the songs that are to come with the
Mhm.
follow-up projects.
Yeah, I think over this past summer particularly, I hit a point where I was like, okay, what am I doing? Like, what am I gonna do? What is my story? I haven't put out a project yet. I want people to hear a full body of work from me. My name is Autumn. Why don't we go off the seasons? You know? So I kind of took that and ran with it. Thank God I have a supportive manager who, you know, was like, okay, bet, let's do it. And so we immediately got to work on Autumn and Winter. And I kind of wanted to tell a story, a cohesive story throughout all the projects, about just a young woman navigating relationships and work and just life in general. Like, what does that look like through the lens of myself as a young woman, you know? Because I feel like oftentimes as a young woman in this industry specifically, we go unheard. And so that's something that I want to take and turn around. I don't like that narrative. So it was very important for me to hone in on my writing, tell the story of what does Autumn Corin want to say to everyone, you know? And a lot of it is relationship based because I mean, Lord knows we all been through it in relationships, okay? So just going based off the seasons, I wanted to give that kind of vibe. So winter was more sad and sorrowful and had those recurring ideas of like heartbreak, right? And toxicity. And then we move into spring, which is warmer, the flowers are blooming. What do we want to say? All I really want is to be happy, right? Like I just want the good vibes. So that's kind of my direction right now.
I love how you just segued and tied talking both projects in. Like you even give me a chance to get there.
Sorry.
So we might as well talk about All I Want, since
Yes.
because that was a record that you teased for a minute on social media. And once you
Yeah.
got the opportunity to perform it in New York, people were like, oh,
Oh,
period. Even during
yes.
sound check, like you were telling me, I love that for you. The strategic planning of teasing with
Yes.
this record. What was the
Yes.
thought process that you and Dimitri had?
Oh, so I think we knew as soon as we finished recording it, like, okay, this is it. Like, this is fire. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but we were like, this is pretty fucking good, right? And we had borrowed from that Mary J. Blige record, Be Happy. And so we were like, people are not going to knock with this because they already know the song partly. So it's like, why not sing it, get the crowd involvement, but then put your own twist on it with that funky bass line, right? And
Oh,
the
that baby
string.
crazy.
Yeah, I know. I freaking love it. And shout out to Gramps, the producer. He's a YouTube producer, actually. So just wanted to give him his credit really fast. But yeah, when I heard that beat, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, and every single time I play it, people are just like giving me that nasty face, like bopping their heads like this. I'm like, okay, we did
Just
something here.
giving.
Yeah, we did something. And the theme, like I said, overall is just to let it go. Like you recognize you want happiness for yourself in your life. So how is that going to look for you? What do you need to let go of? So that's kind of how that was, how that came about.
Yeah, and it's such a great record, and I'm glad that it finally came out because I was like, all right, damn it, when's this damn song coming out? Even though I knew I could have asked for it, but I'm like, when is it coming out so that
I know.
everybody else can hear it? Because I think that there is such a lane wide open for young women who are doing R&B, young women who are young bosses and just out killing it, that
Yeah.
people need to be more familiar with. You're definitely one. And I feel like this record embodies a bit of who you are without giving too much, but it's like, look, because Autumn, listen, you were born in the spring. You Aries. And by nature, us spring babies, we just want to be happy, damn it.
Exactly. Yes. Come on, Aries season. I'm feeling so inspired. I'm so inspired lately.
Then you
It's
have a birthday coming up too. Oh my
my 21st.
goodness. Let's go.
Yes, I'm so excited. Nobody can tell me shit anymore.
They
I'm gonna be
can't.
showing my idea, like, or my ID, like, you gonna let me in or
Like,
what?
like 21. I was like, I was getting in anyway.
Exactly. I'm excited. Yeah.
And I gotta also talk about just the dreaminess with dreams and just the atmosphere with it and just how dope this single is. It's the lead to the project and stuff like that. Congratulations with this video. The views are freaking ridiculous
Ah,
already.
I know
It
it's
hasn't even been a month. Let's
I
go.
know. I'm so happy. It makes me so happy. Yeah, Dreams was a record that I remember sitting down with Dimitri. We heard the beat and I was like, ooh, like I immediately heard the hook with like the high note sustaining. And so I was like, okay, let me just go do that real quick. And the words just kind of came to me pretty quickly, right? And then I really wanted to keep it simple, simplicity, like I feel like sometimes less is more. So I didn't want to go too crazy with the wordiness because sometimes I tend to get a little wordy. So I really wanted to keep it simple with the lyrics and then bring it to life with the harmonies. And that's what made it sound so dreamy. And Adrian is such a great engineer that was able to put those effects on my vocals and make it sound like take it to the next level. So that was really a rewarding experience for me to play around with that.
Yeah, the harmonies eat on that record.
Thank you.
Course. Now,
Yeah.
I gotta go back to Autumn and Winter because
Yeah.
that's another project that we gotta talk about, and they need to download and stream because that's my thing. Download and stream because we need the coins and download. We need to
Yes.
run it up in the streams. Um, this project, Do Me Wrong, was the first video that you had for this. I
Mhm.
love the vulnerability because D&D is my thing. I don't want to be disturbed, but I feel
Yeah,
like a lot of times meant to get in that space where after you have done somebody wrong and stuff like that, and you have done us wrong, whether it be man or woman, right?
yeah,
We don't want to be disturbed. We don't need to go back and forth. There needs to be no more conversation. You know what you did. And respectfully, I don't need you in my life, like you said in the song.
exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Do Me Wrong. That was actually a song that I had in the vault for like a year and a half, 2 years. And I co-wrote it with one of my people, Baby Rich. He's part of Zooted Music too. He's great. So if you haven't checked him out, make sure you do that. But yeah, we wrote it together and he really has the ability to put a little rap element, sing rap element in there for me because he knows my style, he knows my voice, and that's something that I very much appreciate from him. So that's why it sounded a little more hip hoppy, a little more urban. And I love playing around with that style too because I grew up on it, with my dad.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so we had it sitting, and then we are like, every single time I listened to it, I was like, this is such a vibe. It's so relatable. That's one of my biggest things always is just to be real and relatable, right? And to be unapologetic about what you're saying. If you're saying it, you mean it, right? So who cares? Just put it on paper and then sing it. And then the video itself, Dimitri and I had talked, and we were like, well, it's winter. We want to be in like a cabin vibe, in the snow, just really emphasizing that sad vibe, like over it, but sad, but kind of, you know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
it really went well, even with the artwork as well, too.
Thank
The
you. Yeah.
artistic and creative direction was there.
Yes, for that. Shout out to my makeup artist JR and Andrew Wong. He was the photographer, and videographer.
Yeah, both incredible. Y'all ate that. And then even JR did the photos for
For
this
Ottoman.
recent project. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he does a great job. He's an amazing creative. I'm so blessed and lucky to have him. He always slays, literally. I always look so good when he's around. So, yeah.
You do. And how important would you say it is to have people on your team that are well versed? I know sometimes that can be cause conflict with other
Mhm.
talent. It's like they can be like, oh well, I don't want a manager that used to be a songwriter or a makeup artist that knows how to take photography, but it's very beneficial, I feel. So how would you
Yeah.
say it's very helpful to your situation, your team, knowing that everybody is well versed and experienced?
For sure. I mean, I'm so lucky to have a manager and a lawyer in one because Dimitri is a manager and lawyer. So if ever I have any legal questions or just any questions about the industry, I mean, I'm in school, but he has that immediate knowledge. So that's really nice. And he's also always looking out for me. Like if it's a bad deal or bad contract, he's like, hell no. Next. But and then with JR, he just has an eye for all things creative, and the face is always giving and always dewy, and the pictures always slay. He knows, right? And he's been doing it for a long time. And then we have a few photographers and videographers. We use all of them are great. They're all different styles. So it comes in handy when we need to paint a different picture for a different song. And then with me, I'm just the singer. I just do, go out on stage and do what I love to do.
And
So
perform, because that's
yeah,
exactly what you do. You recently performed in LA recently. How was
yeah.
it always performing in LA for you?
Oh, goodness. LA, I will not lie, is a tough city to crack. Okay. I would say even New York was a little easier. LA, I think it's just because people see new talent all the time. So it's like, what makes you special? Like, what is going to make me want to come back to see you? So that's something that I've kept in mind. When you go to different cities, you have different audiences. So you have to cater to that. Um, but you know what? This last show I did with Darius McCrary, the guy from Family Matters, he's amazing. And he
Forgot
really,
about that show. Oh my gosh, that was a good time.
it was intimate. It was great. I mean, I was living life. Like, he really brought me out of my shell. And I love live music as opposed to just like a track playing in the back. Live music just brings it to life. Like, it's the best. So,
I feel like when it comes to live track music and stuff like that, and just like well, no, not live track music, more live stripped down, it's like that, because that's basically what that performance was. Like that, it really showcases your vocal ability. I mean, any type of performance that you do really does it, but it was something about that particular one, because I was there and I was like, I said to Dimitri, I said, oh yeah, this is
this is it.
this is it, like more of this, because then not only that, but it gives you an opportunity to expand your demographic,
Exactly.
because I think the biggest thing is a lot of people don't understand that expanding on your demographic should be your goal, not staying within your demographic, because then how do you then go on a tour and stuff like that? How do you, all these opportunities that it could be, but you're staying focused in your core base of, okay, uh 18 to 24, Los Angeles, Dallas, da 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 da. It's like, no, let's
Let's
break out of
branch
that.
out.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's something it's super hard. Like I'm always looking at my insights on Instagram, like, okay, what are people like, where are people watching me from today? Or, just the different kinds of people. So it's definitely hard. Like you have to have a strategic, like a strategy, right? So especially in the different cities, like I said, just knowing your crowd makes it all the better. So yeah, that's something that I'm continuing to work on for
And
sure.
how are you balancing such a busy schedule and going to college online at Berkeley? Like, girl, you're doing it. I'm like, wait, what?
I'm not, to be honest. I'm just drowning and everything. I don't have my shit together. I don't think anybody does. But you know what? It's been super rewarding. My goal is to graduate summa cum laude. So that's something I've been trying to keep my 4.0 GPA. Just taking classes that make sense. I'm pursuing a Bachelor of Professional Studies in Music Business. So that'll help me greatly in my career. And that's all I really can ask for.
And I know that music business is definitely important,
Yeah.
for the artist that is brand new, or at least I believe that it should be, right? At
Yeah.
what point did you start to learn music business prior to signing to Zooted and, going full fledged with music?
Yeah, so I had actually started to learn little bits and pieces of the music business with the guys in Colorado that I mentioned earlier. They're like an independent music multimedia production company. So they kind of took me under their wing and was like, okay, this is how you do this. This is what a PRO is, and this is where you want to do your distribution. And this is, like how you get money from doing music, right? So thank God for that because I kind of had the little push to continue learning more and just the basic knowledge to take that into the big leagues with Zooted. And then, like I said, Dimitri knows everything about everything. He's just that guy, right? And he's an Aries too. So, but yeah, so again, I have a great team who helps me out with that too. So just expanding upon my knowledge on my own time was something that I was always passionate about. Education, I think, is extremely important. Um, but you don't have to do that traditionally. Like, not everybody goes to college, and that's okay. I'm going to college,
Right.
I wanted to.
And
So
I feel like once you know your path and what's going to be best for you and stuff like that, that's always good. But always want to learn more and educate yourself, because God knows I didn't go to school for a lick of any of this thing, but
yeah,
we make it work. I make it work. And there's tons of other people, there's top executives that say, hey, you know what? I ain't going to college, but I got a vision and I'm gonna learn this business
yeah,
and just do it. And that's in other fields too,
yeah.
not just in music and entertainment. You could really be out here killing it and make over 100,000. I'm just trying to let y'all know and feel inspired while y'all watching us that
Yeah,
you can do it. But if you want to get education, it's great to have.
for sure. Yeah, it's
Because
always a good thing, right? When it comes to like the financial piece too, because I know that's something a lot of people are worried about. Like, just do it. If you're doing what you want, and then you graduate and you're in some debt because you took out some loans. If you're doing what you want and you're making that money, then who cares? It's not about that. It's just about pushing yourself and pursuing what you love. So
and you've
it
been
is.
a living testament of doing that. So I
Thanks.
am so proud of you. Now, we got to ask you, these calls that you've been getting during the national anthem, okay?
Oh, yes. Yes.
How did it start? Like, what went through mom's mind doing it? What went through your mind actually going through it? Like, take us on the journey with you.
Goodness. So back in choir, my choir director, one of my favorite directors of all time, he made us practice the national anthem over and over and over and sing it on the scale and make sure we were getting those half notes and hitting that sustaining note at the end for brave and just all the things, right? And so initially I didn't understand why, but now I do because my mother, Ashley, who's great, love her. She, before I met with Zooted and even during, she's kind of been like my at-home manager, and she'll put me out to these MLB teams. I sing for the MLB pretty much. I've been trying to get football, but manifest. So yeah, I've done like
Ton of
7 or 8 or 9 teams now. The first one I did was the Braves, and I was extremely nervous. And this was right when they opened up again after COVID. I can't remember the biggest stadium I did. I think it was the Rockies. I'm not sure. It was like 50,000 or something. So it's been super rewarding. I love singing that song, because there's so many people who are patriotic and sing it along with you, and hearing the crowd roar after is just so great. It's amazing.
I could imagine, especially when you're actually able to sing that song and stuff
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah.
Get the love and you feel the energy.
Yes.
Because I'm gonna tell you something, Autumn, and I've never said this on record or something. I personally did not like the national anthem. I know people are gonna be like, "What?" You said
Why?
I didn't like it because in high school, when I was in choir and stuff like that, we would have to know it and stuff, like we had to know it. So we
Exactly.
so we did a game. Actually,
Mhm.
it was it a Phillies game? So that first of all, they needed to just let me do it. It needed to just be a solo ensemble, okay?
I'm crying.
And when I tell you trying to learn the words was like, oh my gosh, like if somebody had put a gun to my head, I was struggling, okay?
Yeah.
But once you get it and you hone in on that particular song, oh my
It's over.
goodness, it's over.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can get hired repeatedly, reoccurring from people seeing that.
Exactly. And the other thing too is like once you get in, like now that I'm in with the MLB kind of, like they're like, "Oh, she sung for this team, she sung for that team, like she can do ours for sure." So, it's just kind of that upward mobility and leveraging what you've already done to these other folks, and yeah, just having a fun time with it because it's fun. I get to travel to so many different cities and do that, and then I get a free t-shirt, and then boom, it's done.
Who doesn't
So
love a free t-shirt? What teams would you like to do the national anthem for?
so I've already done my favorite baseball team, which is the Mets. That's my home team. Come on, Queens. So yeah, the Mets I've already done, but I would love to do the New York Giants because that's my football team. But by way of my father, I'm not an actual football fan like that, you know. But I like the Giants because he likes the Giants, so I would love to do that for them.
I can see the Giants. I can see either one of these LA teams because you know they got 20 million of them.
Yeah, yeah, I would love to.
Clippers.
Yeah, yeah,
I can see the Clippers.
yeah. The Clippers. Yeah, that'd be
Mm-hmm.
fun.
Because you know
Yeah,
they got the new stadium coming up that they're building too.
I didn't know that. Where is it
Mhm.
at?
I think it's supposed to be like in Inglewood or somewhere. Listen, don't
Oh,
don't don't get don't quote me and stuff like that. I'm trying to step into the sports world, so I need to know these things.
yes. I have to educate myself too. It's fine.
I'd be like, wait a minute. I'd be like, they got this one and this one and this one, but there's so many different arenas and venues in all these like major markets.
Yes. Even I think to the Denver Broncos, because I lived in Colorado so long that and Mile High Stadium, I would love to sing there too. So one day.
One day. And you still do a lot of work in Colorado as well, too.
I do, yes. I actually have a studio, like a home studio there with the Anthem guys. They've been super great with working with me as I've signed with Suited, and we just are always super zoned in when I'm there. Like in the studio, it's just like a family vibe almost. Like those guys, I've started with them like in the studio, so yeah, I'm always appreciative to them for that, for sure.
That's amazing. And we've been talking about Zuda, but so we gotta actually talk about it. Them reaching out to you via DM on Instagram, right? That's how like the whole thing happened.
Yes,
Tell
yep, and
me, tell me what that feeling was like. Because of course, there's a lot of times online where people are creating accounts and we have no idea at times if this is real or if this is not.
yes.
But you took a chance and
Uh,
then you got on Zoom with DDG and it was like, oh, this is for real.
yeah, yeah, it was crazy because they had actually reached out to me kind of in the middle of my senior year of high school, right before COVID, and I was still 17 at the time, so I wasn't quite, legal. Um, so they waited until I graduated again to reach back out, but again with COVID, it was just freaking crazy. Everything was shut down. I remember I felt like I had two choices. Like I was like, okay, you can either go to college, like in person, or you can take a risk, take a chance with these people. We got off. I remember we were on a Zoom call. My dad was there because he was like, I don't know these people. I want to make sure you're good. Like I'm gonna be on the call with you. So I was like, okay, whatever, fine, dad. And then yeah, DDG was on the freaking the camera, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, possibly, like, sure. So luckily, I ended up being able to do both. I signed with them and then I took a year off from school and now I'm back in school and I'm doing my thing, I think. So yeah.
You are doing your thing. And it's good that you even mentioned taking a year off and stuff like that. How important was that year off for you? Because I know I started off supposed to be taking a year off, and then it just never happened. But it's really good to allow that space to really figure out what you want to do, really
Yeah.
take a breather. But how was it for you? And what did you do in that time to really just
Yeah. Yeah. That year, we had moved from Colorado. My mom got a job in North Carolina. I was still baby, so I moved with her. And we were just kind of getting acclimated to North Carolina, back to the East Coast again. And that was my first year of being with Zooted. And because of COVID, I wasn't able to do much. So whenever we went to LA, I was just in the studio a lot. There wasn't really many parties and stuff like that. So I was just kind of getting to know the vibe with them and seeing, just making songs pretty much, just adding to the catalog and discovering more of my sound. And then second year came, COVID kind of died down and we did more things together. We did Rolling Loud, we were going to different cities, doing different events, etc. And then year three, which we're in now, right? Yeah. Yeah, we've been just really focused in on now I know my sound. Here are some projects. the visuals are giving, meetings with labels, things like that. So
Everything
yeah,
is definitely given. And I love the fact that these meetings with labels are happening. I won't say who has shown interest on that because it's none of their dang business,
that's
but just know that Autumn is about to really take the industry and world by storm. And being able to get the feedback from industry execs and having these meetings, especially at such a young age. What is the first thing that comes to mind when you hear like, okay, we're going to have a meeting with,
Mhm.
and we're going to have a meeting with, and we're going to have a meeting with. I'm
Oh
saying
my
the
God.
names out loud in my head, but not out loud.
Yeah, no, no, no. I feel you. It's definitely nerve-wracking. Like, I don't know. Usually when I'm told the information, I'm like, okay, like we're gonna do it. There's nothing you can do besides just do it. Like I've been in this head space and mind space. Like there's no time literally to freak out. You gotta pack your shit and go. Like it's time to go. Like let's do this shit. So I think having that mindset has really helped with like, all the anxieties and pressures of the industry in general. But afterwards, it's really just like once it's done, I'm like, oh my God, I was holding in my breath that whole time. And it's always so great after. Like we go and celebrate and we're like, yay, one more down, another to go.
Now,
Yeah.
would you say the feeling is almost like that nervous feeling is almost similar to like the feeling you get before going on stage, or would you say they're kind of like different in a sense? I know I just compared two separate things,
That's a good
but
question. Yeah.
I'm curious to ask.
Yeah, I would say it's actually the same nervousness for me. It's that same anxiety, that the pit in my stomach, I'm like it's clammy, like shaky, like oh my God. So yeah, it's pretty much the same for me.
That's amazing. But listen, you kill it regardless, so you be good. I be like, oh, what you so nervous for? You got this. You got
I know. Everyone's always like, chill out. I'm like, you're not performing. Leave me alone.
right. But like you don't have time like ticking down for you to perform. Shut up for a moment.
Yeah. Right? I mean, but it's always so much fun. Like as soon as you get on stage and you're in it, like, it's the best. So
It is because it's definitely those moments that you've been dreaming of your entire life. And it's literally happening right before our eyes, your eyes. I mean, let alone our eyes, but your eyes for sure.
and it's so rewarding. I'm so grateful and blessed. So
Absolutely. For fans who haven't really dived into your catalog, what would you say are the top 4 songs that you would want them to dive into?
oh shoot. I would say just like overall, like, oh man, that's so hard. Okay. I would say Unbothered. That is a staple, classic Autumn Corinne. Like one of the first songs I did was Zooted. Definitely got to take a listen to that one. Soundproof, it's my best one to date, as far as like streams and stuff like that. And I'm super proud of it. I would also say Dreams. Go listen to Dreams. That's off my new project. Um, super pure R&B sound. For the most part. And then the last one, I don't know. Probably Do Me Wrong. That's a great hip hop vibe. It's a little different from the others. So to kind of give you an overall gist of what I do, those would be the 4 songs I recommend for sure.
Yeah, that's a good 4. And I
Yeah.
know that even with the songs that are on both projects, Autumn and Winter and Autumn and Spring, it's like that. Autumn and Summer is coming.
Yes.
How
I don't want to say too much.
excited are you for that? Because I know we're getting a video to a song that's one of my favorites. I'm not gonna spill the beans.
No, you're good.
They know I love 90s and 2000s R&B, even the 80s. So that tells them literally the song right there.
Yes, for sure. I would say that that video is going to be so much fun, by the way. I can't wait for everyone to see. But as far as autumn and summer goes, so far I have 2 solid songs that I think I know for sure I want on there. One of them being definitely a hip hop heavy record, like punchy staccato singing, sing rap type vibe. And then the second one is more of a house like Beyonce Renaissance slash like dance hall Afrobeat type vibe. And so I think
You
what
already
I
have that in the vault waiting for us?
yes, I do. Yeah. So I would say in autumn and summer specifically, be prepared for a little bit more of a like musical journey and a stylistic journey because I want to kind of stray away from my normal and play around with some different styles, you know. I'll still stick to my R&B roots, you'll still hear that, but I want to show people this is what else I can do, right? I'm Hispanic, so why not incorporate some Latina, you know, vibes, you feel me? And, you know, with the house vibes, that's another one. And just that kind of vibe. So be on the lookout for that too.
I gotta hear this damn record because I didn't even know that this record existed with this sound. Like, are
I'm
you
gonna send it
serious,
to you.
Autumn?
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you right now. It's
Yeah,
when we get off. Yeah,
yeah. I gotta hear it.
yeah.
And then even with like these series of season projects, I'm like, what is I'm like, what are we in a season, David? I'm like, come on with it. Um, you're even going to have a larger compilation that is going to be like more like a stripped back, more like classic R&B vibe to it.
Yes, for the Autumn project in particular, that is gonna be like a whole album, kind of like you said. I'm actually unsure. My initial idea was to do the compilation thing. So taking all the songs from the previous projects, putting them on there, and then adding an additional few, just to so that everyone can be reminded of those songs. Like, go back and listen to this if you haven't, and listen to it in its entirety of and its cohesiveness, because
Right.
it's a whole story.
It
That's my
can
goal.
it flows cohesively.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of what I'm leaning towards, but I might just say F it and just do, I don't know, 12 new, completely brand new songs.
I knew you were going to say 12. I knew you were going to say 12. But also,
Yeah.
I also have a little bit of psychic ability, but this is my first time saying this on record.
Yep. 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 Yeah. So that's kind of my hope and my goal for that. It's coming up quickly, so I need to figure it out.
And it's
Jeez.
exciting too that all this music is coming, but it allows you to express yourself not only as an artist, but as a woman
Yeah.
and have relatable music. So I'm so
Yeah.
proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. So, I've got to ask, all like I ask all of our friends on the show is what exemplifies Autumn, not only just as a daughter, as a friend, as a sister, as an artist, just what exemplifies you?
It's so hard. Damn, I'm the worst about talking about myself unless it's music. I would say, you know, Autumn is someone who is extremely caring, rides for her own, will always have your back. Don't cross her though, but you know, super funny, outgoing, spunky, and just is very, you know, family oriented and just loves love and you know, just is all about the vibes, whatever the vibes are, just as long as they're not bad, you know. I just have a genuine love for what I do and for the people who ride for me. And that's really all that matters. At the end of the day, you know. So I guess that would be my answer. I don't know if that was a good answer or
Oh,
not.
that was perfect. That was perfect.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, Autumn, thank you so much for speaking with us today. We definitely enjoyed having you. I'm glad we were able to do this and stuff like that. We be grouping and running stuff like that, but I had to make time to have you part of the platform and stuff like that, and people to really dive into your artistry, get to know you more as a person and stuff like that, because you're going big places. You've already done some major things, but you're even going further. So just keep that energy that you have, that drive. Don't ever feel like you're alone because you're not alone.
Thank you. Yes.
You've got this.
Thank you so much. You do too, my friend.
Of course. I appreciate you.
Of
So
course.
where can everybody follow you in case they're not already? Because they got to follow you on TikTok. They got to follow you on Twitter and all that stuff. Everything.
Mhm. Yeah, so if you're not following me on social media, you can find me at official Autumn Corinne. And then on all the DSPs, you can find me at Autumn Corinne. Just look me up. I should pop right up and you can listen to all my stuff. So